Live from somewhere south of the Potomac River is the All-Time Show with Jeremy Reed. With guests Jordan Rosenwinkel, Connor Reed, and Lita Chalupa. Featuring the segment So You Call Yourself a Star Trek Fan by Jocelyn Meyer. And music by me, Zachary Reed, and the All-Time Players. Now here's your host, Jeremy Reed.
Good evening. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Please be seated. We got a great show for you tonight, folks. Welcome to the Old Time Show. Please give it up for my band leader, Zach, everybody.
Thanks.
Yes, tonight we are discussing number 5, the lowest rated series from Star Trek Wars. That series is Star Trek Enterprise. Now, I know. It had some wonderful moments, and we will certainly be talking about those tonight. Just to be clear, we are not here to put down Enterprise. Tonight, we are here to celebrate it. So, hey, Zach, did you hear about this? Yeah, Scott Bakula, now, this is a true story now. He only took the job of Captain Archer because his show came before all the rest. And since we're discussing the shows from worst to best tonight, well, he's done it again.
Not even Ziggy could get him out of that one.
With a comic strip? No. That's Quantum Leap, yeah? Yeah. Great theme song, Quantum Leap. And how about that theme song to Enterprise, huh? Have you heard this? It's not the only property to use it, though. So did the movie Patch Adams. But you know, Patch Adams and Enterprise, they couldn't be more different. On one hand, you have this depressing tale about a clown thwarting his superiors while running around in a silly outfit. And on the other hand is Patch Adams.
Patch loved them kids so much.
Patch Adams. But seriously, though, do you know what Star Trek Enterprise has in common with the Earth? They both only got 4 seasons. All right, we got a great show tonight, folks, so stick around. All right, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Old Time Countdown. I am, as mentioned, Jeremy, and it's so great seeing my co-hosts again. We haven't been together since our series finale back in November, so it's great to see all you guys, and Happy New Year. You guys can talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, great. Tonight we are going to talk about the final score for number 5 on our list, which is Star Trek Enterprise. We're going to break down the scores, discuss the top and bottom episodes of the series, any of the coveted Star Trek awards it may have picked up, and our general overall thoughts of the series as a whole. And at the end, our Trek card and knowledge will be put to the test by Jocelyn to see who is the weakest Great Link. So let's talk about Star Trek Enterprise. Now, for tonight's festivities, we have all dressed up as something from Enterprise. I myself have a very extravagant costume tonight. I am dressed up as Captain Archer in a Klingon prison cell, looking in the mirror, and my reflection is Dr. Ruth. Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces on that one. It took me a while. Let me go around the room and introduce everybody and what they're wearing. Of course, first up, my son, Connor. Connor, how you doing?
I'm living like Larry's youth would say. Whatever that means.
Oh, as long as it's good. Huh? As long as that's a good thing. Okay.
Well, I mean, you know, it could be anything depending on the kind of person you are. Okay. And I happen to be dressed as Dr. Phlox dressing up as DePaul.
Oh, there's a picture.
It's hot and disgusting as it sounds.
The smile is disturbing.
Little T-Phlox action. Thank you, Connor.
You're welcome. Anytime, America. And no one else.
Very inclusive, Connor. Thank you.
We gotta burn them bridges now.
Lita Chalupa, everybody. Lita, how you doing? Who are you wearing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Actually, I am also wearing T'Pol's cat suit. But I'm going to be honest, it's kind of itchy. I'm 100% sure this is made of carpet. So,
Put
would
the
not
owl
recommend.
in meow.
Hey, it could be worse. Voyager's costume designers could be picking out outfits for you to wear. They're 3 times too small for you to wear.
All right, well, hold on.
No reason to do stuff like that, though.
Hang in there, Lita. Jocelyn Mart, everybody. Jocelyn, you're not going to have
Hey.
a ton of stats from Enterprise, but we'll still. I don't think you've till this at this moment of recording have ever seen an episode of Enterprise, but it's great to have you here.
I have never watched the show. I
Wow.
refuse to.
You're not missing out.
So that should make the trivia game extra special, and trust me, it will be. Also, I am dressed as my favorite Scott Bakula sidekick, which is Ziggy from Quantum Leap.
Fantastic. 5 minutes in, 2 Ziggy
And
references.
episode detained.
Jordan, props for remembering the name of the episode. There's so many. There's detained, containment, incarcerated. There's so many.
Imprisoned.
And of course, that is my co-host Jordan Rosen. We go, hello, Jordan. How's it going?
Oh, hello. Is this me? Is it drafty in here? Huh. I get a little chilly in these ooey blueies over here. And Jeremy, I told you I don't need any more decon gel on my back. Jeez.
Just missed a spot right there, Jordan. Let me get that for you. Classic ooey blueies. Well, yes, of course, we are talking about Enterprise. It did come in 5th, but I do want to say we're not counting the animated series as part of the original series in this.
Ooh.
If we were to include the animated series in this list, the animated series would have come in last. It had an average total score of a
crap.
5.34, and that's probably
I even had a costume for it and everything. I'll just include it in my original series one anyway.
Ben?
Out of spite.
Okay.
In defiance of Big Jeremy, Mr. Government Man, who cannot tell me what to do. I'm a free American.
Well, Connor, you might as well go ahead and tell us what your animated costume would have been.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because, baby, I'm dressing up as the devil from the Magics of Magos 2.
That is pretty great. I thought
That's a deep cut reference, and I brought it up in school in my history class. Because we're talking about the Salem witch trials. Because I am a degenerate who will find any excuse to talk about Star Trek.
bless you. I hope you got an A for that. You got an A in my heart.
I got yelled at for being off topic, but
Oh, okay.
I'll take your approval.
You off topic? I can't believe it. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Enterprise. Enterprise does come in 5th place with a combined total average score of a 5.79. It's a strongest season. I'm sure most of you can probably guess was season 4 with a 6.57. Its weakest season was season 2 with a 5.27. Yes.
Good times, good times.
For the season-ending Star Trek awards, Enterprise did rake in 2 total awards in its 4 years, both from season 4. One was a best of award, and one was a worst of award. It won for season 4 worst guest performance by Malik from the Augment trilogy.
Oh my God! It's been too
Not
long.
Smite.
No. And I'm surprised no one was dressed up as a tattered Augment. It also won season 4 best guest with, of course, Shran from the episode We Can't Say Enough, The Anar.
Frank D. Anar, the strong arm.
Okay.
Are you in a starship accident? I'll get you the settlement you deserve.
That's gold, Connor. Hang on. We do need more sponsors, so remember that.
Okay.
Top 10 episodes of Enterprise. At number 10 is Damage from season 3, episode 19. So the end of the Xindi arc Damage with a 7.5. Number 9, Affliction, season 4, episode 15 with a 7.53. I think that was part of the Klingon one. The Klingon two-part.
It is, yeah.
Yep. Number 8 is The Forge from season 4, episode 7, which was part of that Vulcan trilogy in season 4.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. 7.54. At number 7, The Council, season 3, episode 22, also ending the Xindi arc at a 7.6. At number 6, Shockwave Part 1, the season 1 finale, at a 7.66. Number 5, United, part of that, I believe, Anar trilogy, season 4 with
Can't get enough of that Anar.
with a 7.69. At number 4, In a Mirror Darkly, Part 1 from season 4 with a 7.72.
That was a great episode. I mean, there's some better ones on Deep Space Nine side than that, especially the last one, you know?
But nothing's going to touch that. I'm sure we'll hear about that when we talk about Deep Space
I'm sure.
Nine. At number 3, another part of that Vulcan trilogy in season 4, Kirshara with an 8.13. At number 2, Twilight, season 3, episode 8, with an 8.35. You guys remember Twilight?
Yeah, Breaking Dawn or New
I
Moon.
do.
That was the one with the
Old
vampires.
T'Pol.
Yes. Old T'Pol and like crazy Bacula, right?
Yes.
And
High
she
school.
wants Bacula to bite her so she can live forever. And
That's right.
got really weird.
Musical.
Because she's insecure about being old.
Oh,
while her
boy.
super hot, like 17-year-old boyfriend's immortal.
And
Yeah, Bacula, he can pull off a lot of characters, but 17-year-old, not one. of them. They should recast the younger him as Zac Efron. It would have been perfect.
in so many ways. And the number 1 rated episode all time for Enterprise was Similitude, season 3, episode 10, with an 8.
The double trip.
Double trip.
Yes.
That total score was an 8.85.
Wow.
Bottom 5 episodes of
Oh,
Enterprise.
can I guess one?
Oh, please. Yeah, these count. These are
Is
good points.
Regine the worst? Because if it's not, I'm rioting.
Well,
If
prepare
it's not in the bottom 5, I'm gonna be pissed.
your rioting because it is in the top 5, but it is not the worst
Okay.
one.
Whoa.
The 5th worst with a 2.97 is Acquisition, the one and only episode with the Ferengi.
Oh, the Ferengi. Oh, God.
Hmm.
Number 4 with a 2.91 is The Crossing.
Which one is
Oh.
that?
The one where they play whatever. They're in the desert half the episode. Nothing happens.
It's a Top Gun
When they
volleyball
play
episode.
lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's like it's a deadly game, and it
Oh, I
That's
remember that.
terrible.
See, that's the problem with Enterprise is that, like, you can describe me an episode and I'll remember it, but if you give me a name like Annihilation, Imprisonment, like, I don't remember any of
Yeah.
these names. 'Cause
Didn't
they're
Archer
not-
have like that bad boy boyfriend?
Yeah, so it
The
wasn't
whole
all bad.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Porthos?
Yeah.
Very Top Gun.
3rd worst episode ever with a 2.5 is Jordan's pick, Regime. Jordan,
I
you
think
want to
it's
explain
not
what
the
Regime
worst.
is?
Extinction is going to be
Xindi
the
employ a
worst one.
space hooker to steal Archer's DNA. Like, that's the crux of the episode. To save their
right.
race.
They
Yes.
time travel and we go to like Minnesota and like the 70s.
That's a different one.
That's
And
They
they're
go to
and
the
they
burger
they're,
place and order.
yeah. And they're extracting blood from hookers.
That's a different episode,
That's
Connor,
a different one.
Wait,
That was a
also
much
great.
higher rated episode.
I've,
That was a way better.
I've
Yeah.
never been more tempted to watch this show than I
Right?
am right now. I just gotta
And
say.
it was Detroit, I believe.
Man,
Yeah.
hookers have it hard in Star Trek, man.
Mhm. And just in Star Trek. Connor,
Yeah, once
you called it number 2 worst ever is Extinction at a 2.45.
yeah.
The monkeys.
Solo.
That's where they transform into monkey people and eat maggot
Do
fruit.
you remember the cold open? Or should I say the hot open
Oh,
for
the
that
hottest
episode?
open.
Describe for the audience, Jordan.
I believe some monkey people were burned alive at the beginning,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Just sheer
With
screams.
flamethrowers.
They were torched alive, and then 3 seconds later, it's been a long road heading somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Double pagans.
the worst episode in Enterprise history at a 1.75 is Precious Cargo
Oh my God! Yes.
with the princess that's on the cooking channel.
Disney.
Padalushki. Lushki?
Yeah.
Lakshmi.
Oh my God!
Lakshmi. There you go. That's
She
better.
was in Enterprise?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's great. It's a wonderful episode. You should watch it.
What a performance.
Just kidding.
Julia, what have I ever done to you? I don't understand where this is coming from.
All right, so with that 5.79, the lowest score given by a host on this was from Connor. You gave Enterprise
Oh no!
a 5.52, Connor. Let's take a look at
Always
your
contrarian.
highest rated episode, Connor. You gave 2 10s out to Enterprise in its 4 seasons, to Similitude, and to Judgment, the one with the Martok Klingon, one of the good Archer's incarcerated episodes.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that was really worthy of a 10, but cool.
Well, and you gave out 3 1s in 4 seasons to The Crossing,
Yeah.
a Night in Sick Bay,
Oh God, yeah. Good times.
and Voxola, which I believe is the one where they're all trapped in that
With the sticky,
that
yucky-
white sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Enterprise
Fluid,
like yeah,
shall we say.
Yes. Yes.
It's a
All right.
weird episode.
Connor, do you have any lasting remarks with your time on Enterprise?
Yes, I do. In retrospect, my feelings on Enterprise are pretty complicated. I feel like I wish it had more seasons because the 4th one showed what it could have been, you know. And it had its ups and downs. Certainly, you had like the Augment trilogy, which was pretty. You know, they weren't all hits, okay. But overall, I really adored the 4th season. But I think a lot of people who talk about how underrated this show was, I think you have to really deliberately ignore how awful the first 2 seasons were. Even the 3rd one was really mediocre. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some great episodes in even those earlier seasons, but by no means overall were they good. And also, I think I cannot address Enterprise without talking about its finale, because I think it's more insulting than any of the others. That's not true. Turnabout Intruders may be like worse, but that's not a compliment. So if you're unaware, the final episode of Enterprise was more or less a last hurrah for Next Gen. It was not an Enterprise episode. It was insulting and boring, and it tied into an episode that no one remembers from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah.
Just let you know,
I didn't
Connor,
like it.
we reviewed 97 episodes of Enterprise. The episode you're talking about, these are the Voyages, finished at 82nd out of 97 episodes with a 4.07.
Oh, do people like These Are the Voyages?
Yeah, a 4.07.
Oh, I loved it.
Do you know who gave it the highest score, Connor?
Was it me?
Absolutely not. That would be Jordan with a 5. Connor, you gave it a 3. And that was the lowest score. So there you have it.
Yeah. But in conclusion, I like parts of Enterprise, but I genuinely grew to like the crew a lot. They really grew on me. Even Archer, who could be a bit much at times, especially when he threatened to pee on some dude's tree because he wanted to kill his dog. You know,
Jocelyn, you got to
good
watch
times.
this.
Cue the chainsaw, Jeremy.
But overall,
I'm
I
on
really
it.
love T'Pol and Trip as a thing. The weird foot rub scenes weren't really my thing. But, you know, I still really enjoy a lot of the Enterprise characters. But good God, I think this show kind of sucks.
All right. Thank you, Connor.
Yeah. Hot takes.
You know who thinks the show sucks, but slightly less than you do? That'd be the
Jordan.
next one up, and that is Jordan. Yeah, you gave it a
Oh, God.
5.52. Jordan gave Enterprise a 5.64. Jordan. Let's take a look at your favorites. Jordan, you didn't give a single episode of Enterprise a 10.
What can I say? You got to earn it, baby.
That's right. You gave out 4 9s in its run to Similitude, Twilight, Kirshara, In a Mirror Darkly, and United. Yes. No, that's not correct. Yeah. Similitude, Twilight, Kirshara, and In a Mirror Darkly Part 1. So those were your 4 favorites. You didn't get out any ones either, Jordan. So
Is Regine only a 2? Did I give it a 2? Can I retroactively change that? That episode is like the worst episode of Star Trek that I've ever seen.
Jordan Rosenwinkel, the ultimate contrarian,
That's right. Jordan, you gave
simultaneously rates it highly while simultaneously rates it the lowest.
4 episodes of 2.
Duality of man.
Okay.
He sure is. Jordan is the duality of man on this podcast. And here it shows it. He gave out 4 9s, no 10s, and 4 2s, no 1s. Jordan, your 4 2s go to 2 days and 2 nights, aptly. Regime.
Speaking of Ooey Blueies in a basement, let's go to Ryza and get locked in a basement.
Oh, I miss this series. 2 days and 2 nights. Regime, Extinction, and Precious Cargo. All got 2s by you. Jordan, do you have any final thoughts on these 4 glorious seasons?
Well, glorious is a strong word, Jeremy. I remember watching Enterprise for the first time in high school, and I saw Broken Bow. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And then I was at my friend's house. Jocelyn, you might know Michael Radke. And the second episode came on, and I was so excited. I was going to show my good friend Star Trek Enterprise. I was at his house. He had to watch it with me. And it was the second episode, I believe, Fight or Flight. And it was not very good. And I think I stopped watching the series shortly after that just because it was on Tuesday nights, maybe. And I had basketball and whatnot. So I came back to Enterprise later, and I'm glad I watched it. But it's my least favorite of the live-action Trek series. It kind of was in a tough place because it had to retread a lot of what had already been done. They didn't take a lot of chances in that show until the later seasons. Most of the episodes are good in Enterprise, but there aren't many great episodes, as evidenced by my scores there. I didn't really love the Xindi arc. I know some people do, but upon rewatch, it was like a half-assed arc, and it was okay, but you had episodes like Regine and the Detour Detroit and all kinds of weird stuff. I also felt the Temporal Cold War was half-baked. I liked the potential of the show, but it never quite lived up to it, and by the time it had, UPN had canceled it. Archer is also my least favorite captain, so that doesn't help. And Connor's talked about the crew growing on you. It kind of does, but there's some characters that just never develop, like Reed and Mayweather, and Hoshi's not given much to do. So
But Jordan, he's part of Section 31. He's so cool.
I forgot about that. That's right. All
He's
these
part of Section
black
31.
leather jackets and
And he
smoky
meets in dark,
alleyways.
smart, smoky alleyways. Ready for duty, sir.
When I was
that
putting
whole
my
short arc
costume
of
together,
one.
I really thought someone was going to dress up as a tattered augment, and someone was going to bring that smoke machine and go as someone from Section 31.
I honestly forgot. That's how good that was.
Well, I agree with Jordan though. There's the biggest problem with the show is how many interesting ideas they bring up that they either half bake or drop entirely. Like, remember the Suliban had some like mysterious like hologram leader guy that they were building up for like 2 seasons, and then they just drop that the next one, and they never talk about it ever again.
Still waiting for Discovery to solve that one. And who can forget, of course, Reed Pito.
Reed Pito!
Jocelyn could forget.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear.
Oh, Jocelyn.
I will say, just in his defense, I liked T'Pol quite a bit. I thought her performance was really good. John Billingsley does a really good job as Phlox. Trip is pretty good. I like his character, and there are some highlights for sure. And like Connor mentioned, the 4th season does turn things around quite a bit, and I do enjoy it. And I'm kind of nostalgic for it right now. I almost want to rewatch Regine as like a Patreon special and just relive the agony. But
We could do a
I'll leave
commentary.
my thoughts there.
Thank you, Jordan. And up from Jordan, unfortunately, with 4 seasons, Lita, you didn't join us till season 5, so you didn't get a chance to review those. Up from Jordan, our guests gave it an average score of a 5.8. Their top-rated episode was they gave out 110, and that was to Dear Doctor in season 1. So that would have been Gina giving it its solo Enterprise. And
That was a really good episode.
they gave out 2 1s to Acquisition and Precious Cargo, season 1 and season 2. So both by Gina as well. So just great stuff.
Do you guys remember that episode where Hoshi's captured by the weird Beauty and the Beast
crab
guy with the
guy?
crab on his
Yeah.
head?
Yes.
Crab face. How could I forget?
Hey, that's our word, Jordan.
Sorry.
Crab.
You know, I did
finger.
watch Enterprise during quarantine this last year for the first time.
All the way through.
Ooh.
And I was surprised at how much I liked it because I'd seen it on TV as a kid and it was always so boring looking. And then I heard all kinds of bad things from you guys. Thank you. And I knew how it ended. But as I was watching it, like nothing could prepare me for being so personally offended that whenever it finished, that's how it went. So
Mm.
I liked it a lot more. And I feel like a little bit mad that, DS9 wasn't even good until the 5th season.
Ooh,
And
whoa.
like,
Wait, what?
in my opinion, no, it was really boring the first 4 seasons. I couldn't get into the characters, and this season is whenever it started getting like, really good.
This will be the last time Star Trek War speaks together. on the podcast.
I'm ticked off. I'm canceled.
Oh.
No, but I liked the last season of Enterprise, and they smushed it, and I was mad. But T'Pol and Trip were adorable, also. So I think
Absolutely.
that set me off as well.
Yeah, really, really
Now
good.
that I've offended everyone.
Up from the guests is, of course, me, the spokesman for all Star Trek, Jeremy. I gave it Enterprise average score of 5.87. Let's see. Yeah. But I, just like Jordan, gave no 10s to Enterprise in its 4-year run. And that's really surprising. I gave out 2 9s to Similitude and Home, which is that first episode in season 4 after the Nazi aliens.
Oh, that's right. Where aliens help Nazis win World War II.
Yeah, after that
But,
business
you know,
was
they-
done.
Yeah, but they don't really address like the whole implications of a Nazi victory in World
They
War
had
II.
to tie
They
that up.
gloss over that for cool weapons.
They
bro.
do in the spin-off show, The Man in the High Castle.
Oh,
man.
right.
I got to get Amazon Prime.
I think we're intriguing Jocelyn with all these weird, like out of context. The show sounds
It does
bonkers.
sound
It's-
pretty good.
Sounds bonkers.
Yeah, there's an episode where spirits possess the hosts, like host bodies of the crew, and they try to mate with each other. I'm not kidding. It's a season 2 episode, of course. Are you a female?
Oh yeah, those space entities have a big ship, like a physical
Yeah.
ship, even though they
Yes.
float around.
And when Charles Trip Tucker got pregnant, that was great.
That's right. Trip
Wow.
did get
It's
pregnant.
the 5th episode.
Right.
Sub Rosa 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gets a nipple
Yeah.
on his wrist.
I remember. Oh my god.
Got a sub rub for a Rosa.
Watch that at my grandma's house.
That's the only way to watch it.
What are you watching there, Jordan? I'm just watching a man get pregnant.
I also gave 4 episodes of Voyager. I'm sorry, of Enterprise. Sorry, every time I see the worst episodes, I go to a different show. I gave 4 episodes of Enterprise a 2: Voxola, Regime, Extinction, Precious Cargo. So I think we're all right there. Yeah, Enterprise going into this podcast was the episode or the show that I had seen the least amount of. I think I watched the premiere and then the waited 15 years and we did the podcast. So, but Enterprise is nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. And there were generally like really good characters. I really do like Trip, and I really like T'Pol. And I really didn't think I would like T'Pol at all because, you know, she's just hot. But there's more to her. We come to find out. But Archer is pretty not great. And I love Scott Bakula, so that's kind of sad. And of course, the highest score for Enterprise comes from you, the people. The Star Trek Wars Council gave it an average score of a 6.24. The highest rated episode of Enterprise from the Council is coming up. Right after the break. Is In a Mirror Darkly Part 2 with an 8.66.
Dang.
Oh, you'll love this, Jordan. Number 2, In a Mirror Darkly Part 1 with an 8.6.
Just when I thought they couldn't screw up anymore. They totally redeemed themselves.
I love democracy.
The lowest score from the Star Trek Wars Council is a overall 2, and that is for Precious Cargo.
Ooh.
But that is Enterprise in a nutshell. When we come back after the break, though, we're going to see how much we all retained, which, judging from our conversations, I think we could say a lot from Enterprise.
Okay.
We'll be back right after this break.
Today's episode sponsored by Gamer Power Sludge Beverage. Well, fellow gamers, it's me, a 43-year-old man pretending it's 1993, bro. David, you've been playing that legally distinct Grand Auto Theft game for 49 hours straight, and all you've been drinking is soda pop. Go to bed, young man. Time out, Mom. I'm 43. I mean 13. You can't tell me what to do anymore. Adults just don't get it, fellow kids, because they ain't skadibbling like us homeboys. Skizzle or dizzle, dude. But what is Gamer Power Sludge Beverage, you ask? Well, it's the world's most advanced energy drink designed for gamers by 57-year-old gamers. It's guaranteed to pump up your scores in any game, brother. It'll put fat in your chest, cholesterol in your heart, and cavities in your teeth. Epic gamer moment. And that's not all. It comes in 3 awesome flavors, 2 of which have been banned by the World Health Organization because adults just don't get it. It's so sweet, I'm throwing a bile from my eyes. But that's not all, folks. Buy 1 package of this illicit substance, and I'll give you a handgun for free. That's right, a handgun, all for free. Plus, this drink really boosts your charisma stat, am I right, gamers? Here's one of our illustrious clients who we pay to pretend to drink this garbage. I love Gamer Power Sludge Beverage. How do you think nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys? It's simple. I drink Gamer Power Sludge Beverage. Well, thanks, John. And hey, pro gamer tip for you and Lincoln. Next time you're in public, wear a helmet. Epic! Well, gamers, it's been pimpin' tricks and skiz, but back to the biz, Lamau. It's been XX Mega Supreme signing off with the sweet sound of Star Trek.
Thank you, Connor, for making it 43-year-old because, you know, us 42-year-olds are still pretty hip.
Pretty hip. Speaking of hips, how's your replacement going, Jeremy?
You tell me, bro. Whoa.
Well, bro, you're really skadizzling in his part right now, bro.
Oh, watch me go.
Now it's time for And You Call Yourself a Star Trek Fan. Give it up for your host, Jocelyn Martin.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to So You Call Yourself a Star Trek Fan, the game show which tests your knowledge of Trek from TOS to ENT. I'm your host, Jocelyn. And here's how the game is played. We will begin with the first contestant, decided by me, the host, and then proceed in an orderly fashion around the pod. Each contestant will be read a question, given the chance to answer. If correct, it's worth 1 point. If incorrect, the question goes to the next contestant to answer. However, if you answer your initial question incorrectly, do not despair. After the next contestant is given a chance to steal the point, you will be given the chance to answer a redemption question, which is worth double points.
Redemption 2.
So you get rewarded for answering your question wrong?
This is my game, and I do not have to explain myself. If you answer a question correctly, you will hear this sound.
I'm not sure I understand. We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
If you answer a question incorrectly, damn it. I think I mixed them up.
You may have.
All right. If you answer a question correctly, you will hear this sound.
I think you put it over the top.
That's Archer.
Strangely,
to Paul.
It's strangely creepy. I don't know. If you answer a question incorrectly, you'll hear this sound.
I'm not sure I understand. We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Okay, contestants. Are you ready to play? So you call yourself a Star Trek fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
But probably not. I'm terrified of losing.
All right. We begin our game here with Star Trek Enterprise. So this one's a little different. All the other series' questions follow the same formula, except for Star Trek Enterprise, which I famously have not watched and refuse to do so. So here's how this section of the game is going to be played. I randomly chose 2 episodes from each season, watched them on mute at 10 times speed on Netflix. I will describe for you what I think is going on, and then you will tell me what episode I am talking about. You can either name the title of the episode or simply describe it.
Oh, okay,
And
good.
Both are correct. Okay? Are we ready to start?
Yes.
All right. The first question goes to Jordan. Jordan, are you ready?
No, but let's do it.
Excellent. This episode is from season 1. And this is what I think I saw. Vulcan 7 of 9 convinces Scott Bakula and friend to go with her on an away mission to church. Only in this church, you confess to Andorians, and if they don't like your sins, they take you hostage and beat you up a bit until you play floor games with them, which apparently makes Scott
What
Bakula
is
horny.
Shadows of Pajem.
Excuse me,
Sorry.
please wait till the ride has come to a complete stop. They beat you up until you play floor games with them, which apparently makes Scott Bakula horny because he puts the moves on Vulcan 7. Meanwhile, on the ship, the remaining crew look very concerned but do basically nothing. Bakula and V7 try to escape Indiana Jones style and are hidden by some Vulcan monks or Vulcan besties on a spa day. And then Bakula seems to talk his way out of things with the Andorians, and they're free to leave. Jordan, what episode am I describing?
Shadows of Pajem.
I'm not sure I understand. We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Jordan.
Lita, are you prepared to steal? What episode am I describing?
Is it the one where the Andorians are in that cold cave?
Go on.
Yep. That's
Can
all
I
I
describe
remember.
it if I answer
It
the
was
title
cold.
wrong?
Yes, you can try to describe it.
Okay, so essentially, they go to this Vulcan monastery, and T'Pol tells them that they may not be accepted if they're meditating. She gives them this whole list of things they can and can't do. They get down there, they find out that the Andorians have infiltrated the monastery and are holding them hostage. And the crew does pretty much nothing. You are correct. And Archer has to broker peace. Is it called Sanctuary?
There is a sanctuary in it.
What is it called?
It is called, because I think you are describing it, but I just copy and pasted the breakdown from IMDb. It's called the Andorian Incident.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough. The follow-up episode of Shadows
Yep.
of Fajem. Okay.
Jordan, I was right there with you.
So did you get it right or not? I really can't tell.
I think
No.
so. I think I get double points.
No, I
because
don't
got it
believe
wrong
so.
and then I got it right.
I think you put it over the top.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
It's my game and I do as I please. Next question.
Dr. Phil?
This question is for Lita. Redemption, I guess. Okay. You just have to tell me, describe the episode or name the episode. What episode am I describing? Scott Bakula is just trying to enjoy his morning cup of coffee, but his crew keep bothering him and are like, you have to get on this. So he does. Then the shuttle explodes. So you know what time it is. Flashback time. Bakula's on the bridge and everybody looks mad. Then they're hailed by this old Navy captain, which apparently has bad news. Meanwhile, Vulcan 7 is having an argument with Enterprise Neelix. Bakula has an argument with his Beagle, and cocky blonde white guy crew member has an argument with probably has an accent guy crew member, after which cocky blonde guy visits Enterprise Neelix, who I am beginning to worry might actually be the ship's doctor. Bakula has his shirt off for a while and does not feel the need to put a shirt or pants on when visited by babyface crew member, which I've never seen before. A series of important conversations are had in front of many computer screens with ship schematics until finally everyone agrees to take the shuttle down to a greenish moon-looking planet. But then there's a big fight. Bald, saggy skin faces on the floor. The crew sneaks around on an abandoned science station and makes a mess. Then Bakula gets another call from Old Navy Captain and knows what he must do. Visit the saggy skinheads and talk it out like a man. He has several conversations with this species who really need to exfoliate and finally goes to meet them on their ship, which is a wreck, just like their faces. And then he runs right into Babyface Guy, which is super embarrassing because he's seen him in his shirt and undies. But to be continued? What episode am I describing, Lita?
It's just all of them.
I
don't know,
literally
but the
only
saggy-
need
the
very
saggy
little more
skin
specific.
faces. I just can't get past that, and it's traumatizing. I have no idea.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about
do too.
Silic, who is a Suliban. He's
Mhm.
like green textured, weird, yucky face.
Yeah,
I mean, if
and
you
that's
want to give more hints to Connor, who's the next person who gets the steal, you
Yeah.
can go right
There you
ahead.
go, Connor.
Connor,
yeah. Well, Jordan and I are
what
on the
episode
same
am I
wavelength.
describing? To a T.
Much
by
like
the
me
way?
and Saddam Hussein, we have a lot in common. So let's talk about the Suliban, because that's who I assume you're talking about, who are like the potato-faced pockmarked people.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at remembering the names of Enterprise episodes because they have the most boring generic names possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I vaguely remember this episode, mainly because you mentioned the Suliban. I've tried, and this is from season 1.
It is.
Oh God. Okay.
And
So,
it's part 1 of 2.
Okay. And I can describe like what happens in the episode.
Yes, you can try. I mean, I think I nailed it, but go ahead.
I mean, yes, yeah, you did. Yeah, you know what? I'm really awful. I'm sorry. I don't remember anything other than the Suliban thing about this episode, but I vaguely remember some
We're
sequences.
still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Mm.
Jeremy, for the
not a
steal,
true
can
fan.
you do it?
You said it was a two-parter?
It's a 2-parter.
The only two-parter I know of season 1 was one part, but it was the finale. It's not, is it Shockwave part 1?
I think you put it over the top.
Ah!
It's
You're talking about
Shockwave part 1.
Daniel's Jocelyn. He's not a crew member. He's a member. He's a temporal agent. Dang it.
She has spoken.
I was thinking that.
As a reminder, I've never seen this show. I don't know any names.
It's
I don't
true.
know who belongs to the crew. It's really anyone's game. All right. We are back at the top. Jordan,
Mm.
this one's for you.
Okay.
We are now in season 2.
Worst season.
And if you don't, I feel like this one is very distinct. Okay? Scott Bakula is having a fancy wine dinner with his girlfriend, Vulcan 7, and his boyfriend, Cocky Blonde. He just wants them all to really try this throuple thing out, just for a while. Vulcan 7 does what any blue-blooded woman would do in this situation. She gets a new outfit and visits her family. She needs space. Unfortunately, while camping with her family, they are transported back in time to when flannel was the only available textile, well, besides denim and corduroy, but she's no slut. V7 and her brother must navigate Earth's pool hall circa 1950-something and keep a low profile, which becomes difficult when her brother, who works as a miner, falls for the town school teacher, leaving his sister unprotected while the townie, who was probably bullied as a child, hits on her. She's got to get her car fixed and then get out of there before the Vulcan 1950s father makes her marry the guy, since they were seen alone together outside the diner. But it's okay. Turns out it was only a story she told to avoid more boring dinner conversation with Bakula and Blondie. All a story. Or was it?
That
Jordan.
is a Carbon Creek.
I think you put it over the top.
And the Vulcans invented Velcro.
Yes.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Why didn't they put that in the episode? Come on.
It is in the episode.
They did.
Well, not the episode I watched
that's how they
on
get
mute
money.
at 10 times speed. All right.
Yeah, that's how
Next
they get you. They
question.
said it out loud is the problem.
This one really had me confused. I didn't know if we were time traveling. I didn't know if this was like a holosuite program. It was very confusing, this one, but very distinct. So, Lita, it is your turn. Second episode from season 2. Here's what I think I saw. It's winter, and 3 besties are going sledding, but then one falls through the ice. Oh no! They manage to rescue their friend, but in the process, they find a couple Borg, who they immediately bring back to their science lab to do experiments on. Back on Enterprise, Discount Neelix, who I am now almost certain is the ship's doctor, is trying to heal a half a simian butt because he's Neelix. He botches it somehow, and they escape through the Jeffries tubes. Dr. Neelix has also managed to infect himself somehow, and V7 has a very serious discussion with Bakula about just putting old Doc out of his misery. It would be the most logical thing. Bakula tries to convince Dr. Neelix that this is for the best, but Doc barters for more time. Things get more intense when an alien ship shows up. An alien ship full of Borg! It's really touch and go there for a while as Enterprise crew fights them off, but eventually they manage to blow the ship to smithereens. Dr. Neelix appears to be healed, but only time will tell. Bakula invites V7 back to his quarters for a serious talk. She's in his quarters a lot, just saying. Lita, what episode am I describing?
Okay, I don't remember the name, but I do remember this episode. It's like this really cool opening scene with like an ice world, and they find this ship, and these little scientists are like, I'm totally not going to die when I uncover this. And they find this cool ship, and there's Borg inside, and I think there's like some kind of half Borg, half human thing going on throughout it. And that's all I remember.
Over the top.
Nailed it! Congratulations, Lita, you got it right!
Dang. I think I remember the name of that episode.
It's Regeneration.
Yeah. That's the first one that I actually remember the name of.
Jocelyn, you're actually picking the good episodes of season 2 so far.
Yeah,
Am I-
I like that one.
Okay, good.
was
I
getting
tried not
the
to.
Thing vibes.
I really just went by the thumbnail pictures that I liked. That was the part. A lot more research went into the other questions in this game show, but this one, you know how it is. Connor, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
All right. This episode is from season 3.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Bakula is shirtless again, but this time he's also combative. Whatever they gave him was something else because he wakes up looking old and married to Vulcan 7 of 9. Like we didn't see that one coming. Just when he's getting comfortable, he's back in his younger body, back on Enterprise with his crew, sitting down to dinner as a throuple again. Before you know it, he quantum leaps, and you knew I was going there, back into his older body with long-haired V7. She's aged, but space Botox makes it difficult to tell, so they make her hair long. Back on Enterprise, there's an alien attack, and a dude crew member who I'm sure has an accent, and not like a smooth French accent, but probably like a Scottish accent, looks really worried about it. Then V7 is visited by the really, really old version of herself. Same haircut, but it's gray, and physically, she's really let herself go. And frankly, her always being pressured into maintaining this unsustainable standard of unrealistic beauty. It's not the kind of message she ever wanted to send in the 23rd century, but somehow she just fell into it. And then there were the outfits and the expectations, but not forever. No, she'd find a way out of this unhealthy commitment to toxic body glorification. Old Bakula is then brought to the crew, who may also be aging rapidly since Accent Guy now has a goatee, and that means only one of two things. Either he's aged or we're in the mirror universe. Old Bakula helps old crew fight off ugly aliens again, but at what cost? Since old V7 looks hurt. No matter, old Bakula blows them all up on purpose and makes up as normal aged Bakula in the sickbay. Everything is fine again, and he's tucked into bed with his Kindle by V7. She is literally always in his quarters. Are they a couple or what? Just tell me. Connor, what episode are you describing?
I believe, if memory serves, I think this episode is called Memory Alpha.
I'm
Is that not right?
I understand.
We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Dang.
Jeremy, do you want to steal?
I believe that's one of the ones we've been talking about quite often because it's one of the best episodes ever, and it would be Twilight.
Oh.
I think you put it over the top.
Oh, give it to me, baby.
Yeah, this was
Wait, is that a clip
I
of
remember
Wonder
a
Woman?
lot less of the show than I thought.
this was a weird one for me, but definitely
Kristen Wiig,
would
is that you?
watch it. All right, Jordan, we're back
Yes.
to you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. In this Deadwood crossover episode, Cowboy Bakula and his trusty sidekick cannot tell I'm a Vulcan because I'm wearing a scarf, do a bunch of cow people stuff like horse riding, whiskey drinking, saloon gambling. But they must have hit the cosplay too hard because next thing you know, Bakula is locked up and the whole town is gossiping about it around the old-timey bonfire. Bakula is rescued by a curly redhead who he clearly has a crush on. Then he turns right around and rescues her by having the transporter send her up to the sickbay on Enterprise after she old-timey lady swoons in the middle of the street during Bakula's big manly gunfight. Bakula isn't having fun anymore since his new girlfriend got hit. Vulcan 7, who, you ask? So he does what any grown man who has never been told he's average at best does, and he packs up his costumes, gathers his buddies, and breaks the rules of the Prime Directive game. Prime Directive, who, you ask? Landing his shuttle in the middle of Deadwood and putting a bunch of people in danger so he can have another gun battle and kill the bad guys on his own terms. Curly Red is grateful, but not that grateful. So she chooses to return to Deadwood to be a teacher, rather than live with Bakula aboard his starship where she would be respected as a woman and have access to such luxuries as running water, food that doesn't taste like ass, and tampons. Jordan, what episode am I describing?
Well, there's only one really Western episode of Enterprise that I can think of. It's something Star. It's not Morning Star.
I mean, it's not
North Star.
I think you put it over the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she's got to teach them
that a
kids to
whip?
read.
Yeah, this one looked fun.
It's not terrible.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's up
Right.
there with like Spectre of a Gun as far as Western episodes of Star Trek go, but not as good as A Fistful of Datas.
I think
Nothing's as good as A Fistful of Data. All right, Lita, are you ready to play again?
Yeah.
All right, this one's for you. We are in season 4.
Woo.
And we open on one of Captain Bakula's famous Enterprise dinner parties. But this time, it's more than just his usual throuple of Vulcan 7 and cocky blonde dude. There's a woman and an older guy in a wheelchair. Science? You get the feeling that wheelchair guy is up to no good here because he's having a lot of secretive conversations rolling around the station like he owns the place. And in one darkly lit conversation with the young woman from the dinner party, his daughter, his nurse, she is positively shocked at his secret. That secret? He can actually walk. Turns out, he's a space televangelist who claims to be able to work ancient Earth miracles of pre-science healing. He proves this by healing himself of his wheelchair addiction, and the crew are so impressed, they begin to think maybe he should be captain instead of Bakula, who, to be fair, has never healed himself of anything. Just when things are looking good for no longer wheelchaired man, he has a relapse and goes back to the chair. Kicking the habit is hard, and miracles expire faster than milk left out at room temperature. The crew stages an intervention because just really they want a different And it works. He's healed and walking again until his long-lost son shows up just to die in his arms, and he crawls back to the comfort of the chair. Finally, they find a really nice space rehab center for him and send him and his nurse daughter on their way. Bakula remains captain, and everybody just kind of accepts that for several more episodes. Oh, Lita, what episode is this?
This is hard. I feel like Wheelchair Guy was one of the crew members, like old now, or Archer old. But no, very vague memories. There's a lot of weird wheelchair hopping in this one. Mm-mm.
I mean,
Surprisingly, yeah.
the Wheelchair Guy's a guest star. I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what a guy in a wheelchair would want to create?
What's that?
A transporter.
faster wheelchair.
Oh, was
It's
it one of the-
something Erickson.
Mm-hmm.
They were like friends with the wheelchair. Oh, yeah. I remember that one of them was friends with the guy's daughter, and his dad was friends with the guy, and they were like, "Oh, he's amazing. He's awesome. He's going to do..." I remember it, but I don't. I'm going to have to skip. I don't know the name.
I know the answer.
It was a
Connor,
great-
you want to steal?
Oh, I do want to steal. If memory serves. I think this episode is Daedalus.
Oh,
That's correct.
Hey!
I think.
Well done,
What was he
Connor.
Oh my God. I remember one.
Daedalus.
Well,
In-
technically, Connor, all the episodes of Enterprise are Daedalus, except for the one with Brent Spiner. Or the three with
Son
Brent
back to
Spiner.
life.
Yes, so in Daedalus, according to IMDb, Dr. Emery Erickson, the father of transporter technology and old friend of Archer's. Is Archer Scott Bakula?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he was a friend of Archer's father, and he tricks the Enterprise into helping him retrieve his son, Quinn, I guess, who just dies anyway. And then,
good pull, Connor.
you know, they're like, oh, man, that was a trick. You shouldn't have done that. I don't know. All right.
You shouldn't have done that. You're just a bore.
Exactly. Jeremy, are you ready to finish this?
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah,
So you call yourself a Star Trek fan?
yeah. Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home. Season
roads.
4, last question. The Enterprise is visited by ambassadors from an alien species that look like what would happen if a genetically enhanced pig and Jim James were merged in a transporter accident. From how they're dressed, it's clear that they're on their way to a Renaissance festival, but first, they need Captain Bakula's help tracking down a couple of Andorians who are meant to play their horse. But then, surprise! The Andorian shows up begging Bakula to hide him since he is really not into the Renfest scene anymore, and besides, he's tired of being the horse since they always put him in the back half. Bakula convinces the Andorian and Jim James pigface people to talk it out in a conference room, and this does not go well. Then the front half of the horse shows up seeking asylum as well, a female Andorian who went into hiding after discovering that microbangs do not, in fact, make her look edgy. Captain Bakula has a lot on his plate.
Syra?
There's some repairs to the ship that are not going well thanks to a couple of beefed up Romulans who keep sabotaging them. And the Vulcan 7 wants to have a conversation about defining their relationship, which honestly, he's just been dreading. On top of all that, the Andorian couple managed to seduce their way into a semi-automatic rifle somehow and are now using it to terrorize the Renfest enthusiasts. Bakula has finally had enough. He gives them all a stern talking to, and they all agree to trade off wearing the horse costume. For the Romulan situation, Bakula employs a tried and true method of completely ignoring them, which works like a charm, just like he knew it would. He's been using this same method to V7 for 4 seasons now. Jeremy, what episode am I talking about?
This is a bit tricky because it does sound like it's part of the Anar trilogy. I am gonna
Please
go.
never come out of trilogy.
Jocelyn, I am gonna go with United.
I'm not sure I understand.
Ooh.
We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Mother.
You can't see it, but I'm raising my hand.
Well, unfortunately for you, Connor, it is Jordan's to steal. Jordan, what episode am I accurately describing?
Well, I know the pig faces are the Tellarites, which are one of the founding members of the Federation. Is there an Enterprise episode called Babel 1?
I think you put it over the top.
I don't know how you're doing it, Jordan, but you got it right.
What an American hero.
And that includes the Enterprise section of So You Call Yourself a Star Trek Fan, as the scores are Jordan has 4, Lita 1, Connor 1, and Jeremy 2.
I think I'll do a lot better from here on.
I think we all will.
I don't remember any of these.
We haven't watched Enterprise in 3 years.
Right. I only remember the worst episodes. And he didn't even bring up Extinction.
I just would have no idea what that is.
It's the
Thanks for
episode where they
playing.
transform into monkeys and eat bugs.
Thank you, Jocelyn. All right, and who was number 4 on our all-time list? We'll have to tune in next time. We'll see you then. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Thanks for listening to Star Trek Wars.